when we have different customers, every customer has a different need, and that means that's time spent on integrations, that's time spent, getting all these customizations set. But when you have that universal language and you can just connect to the network and have a partner connect to the network, there's no greater value than that. Hello, my name is Ryan O'Neill. I am the Vice President of Operations and Strategy at Summit SD. Summit SD is a wholesale drug distributor and third-party logistics provider who specialize in the exclusive distribution of innovator drugs. As we move toward greater supply chain digitalization, I think some of the biggest opportunities that we have right now are full end-to-end integration points that are in real time. I think in a lot of ways, the pharmaceutical industry is still very antiquated in how they are receiving and sending data. And sometimes you can get a spreadsheet into your email, and by the time you've gotten that spreadsheet, the data can be outdated. And so outdated data is bad data. I think some of the biggest challenges are, number one, going to be convincing the leadership team and the key decision makers to implement some of these tools. So you have to convince those key decision makers that this is going to provide value. And then another challenge that I've seen is varying levels of digital maturity in systems. So some people have systems that are very, very old systems, new systems, and trying to marry those requirements and being able to have that translation between the two. But that's when we have things like Mint that come out that turn it all into that one universal language, and something I'm very excited to see TraceLink doing. If you're going to try to convince a leadership team to make a decision, ultimately you have to show ROI. What is the ROI going to be in implementing this system? Now, is it going to be a more efficient system? Is it going to provide you better data for better decision making? Is it going to be beneficial from a risk perspective? But you need to take all these into consideration and look at the ROI and present that to the team. The value in being able to exchange different transaction types digitally, being that one-stop shop or that one place where you get your information is so valuable, because nowadays think about your phone. You have all these different apps, everything. There's notifications from Instagram, from Facebook, from your email, from Teams, and we see this even in the workplace. We're seeing you can get your Teams messages, you get your emails, and I think there's all this noise, and I think having that one place that you can get all this information is valuable. And not only is there going to be that information in that one place, but it's also going to be accurate, more reliable, and it's going to make the supply chain safer and stronger for everybody. The benefit of real-time data orchestration and data exchange downstream. Now, ultimately, from like a patient perspective, a patient has likely never heard of DSCSA, but all of a sudden they can't get their medicine because of something in inaccurate data. I mean, then there's going to be a level of panic there because they don't understand what's happening. All they know is that they don't have access to their therapy. When we create that stronger, more reliable supply chain together, we are able to get patients' drug, safer, faster, and more reliably. I think the biggest thing that compels me about Mint is, one, the flexibility and customization that you can have internally, but TraceLink's done an amazing job of creating this universal language that's not just, we figured out how to turn an X12 file into the NIDOC file. It's much more complex than that, and I think TraceLink still sells themselves a little short on what they did and how they did it, because to me it's black magic. I don't know how it was done, but that's truly going to change everything, because when we have different customers, every customer has a different need, and that means that's time spent on integrations, that's time spent, getting all these customizations set. But when you have that universal language and you can just connect to the network and have a partner connect to the network, there's no greater value than that.